tat to treasure. Not bad, eh? Hi everyone, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. I buy items second-hand at car boot sales and charity shops, and I flip them online for a profit. So I've been promising a Ugg boot cleaning video for a little while now, so I thought I'd show you how I'd do it. We're currently in my workshop, which I built a couple of years ago, and I clean shoes out here because it's just gross cleaning shoes in your own kitchen. At worst, you could maybe do it in your bathroom, in the bath, but I really don't want to be cleaning other people's skanky shoes inside my house. So I'll show you my process and before and afters, and hopefully it will be interesting and useful. But just before that, I'll give you a quick tour of my workshop. So I've got to be honest, it's not a pretty place, but a workshop is a working environment. So I built this. The doors over there, they are off of Facebook Marketplace for £5. I basically built this entire place for about 140 quid, and it's about 16 feet long, so it's a decent size. So lots of shoes waiting to be cleaned up. Got all my some of my tools and bits and pieces there. That is all my shoe cleaning paraphernalia in that rolling case. Got a big pillar drill, and as you can see, I've just got shoes and boots hanging and drying everywhere, so they're all clean and ready to go. That is all listed stock, so that's about 100 pairs of shoes and boots there. This is stock that has yet to be processed, so this is all fresh from the car boots, and I haven't done anything with it yet. So videos, etc., to be tested there. Boxes of mixed clothes, shoes, boots. All these shoes and boots are cleaned and ready for photographing, so probably another 25 pairs there. That is a tool I use for polishing shoes. So with a proper like a lace-up shoe, slip it onto there, and it means that I can clean it properly using two hands. It's a little bit easier. Don't need it, but I find it useful. That is my workbench where I'm going to be doing the cleaning. These are the Ugg boots I'm going to clean. Boots that I've recently cleaned up. These I've had to repaint, so I need another coat there because all the paint had come off of these. These are pretty cool. These are Onitsuka Tigers in a very limited edition colour. So they were from the Kill Bill Tarantino movie. So basically to reflect what Bruce Lee wore in Game of Death many years ago. So they're pretty cool. Cleaning those up, and I am keeping those because they're quite rare and they are quite cool. So right, these are the boots that we're going to clean up. As you can see, there's all discoloration around the toes, and basically, yeah, the fronts have got wet and they've dried at different times, which has meant the person is getting rid of them. They don't want them, but they don't know how to clean them. If you spot clean Ugg boots, you get the discoloration, you get a variance. So what you need to do is get them completely saturated so they dry at the same rate. Other things I need to get off of here, there is some ingrained dirt. These aren't too bad. I think the main thing is getting the coloration the same again. What else did I see? There's a couple of marks which I need to get out, but these are in pretty good condition really. There's a bit of wear on here, but we can sort that out. These are genuine. There we go. So we've got the Ugg labels, and you can see you've got a hologram there. So you can see that. Got all the other details in here, and you've got model numbers on the back. So yeah, I'll get these cleaned up, and basically the main thing is that they take a long time to dry, so it's going to be a video done over a couple of days, but I'll show you the process I use. So yeah, I'll get cracking. Whenever you finish with your anti-bac, stuff like that, these bottles are always useful. Refill them with water or soap or whatever you need. What I'm going to do right now, because I'm going to be cleaning up here, and I'm going to be cleaning in a tray, so because I don't have a sink out here, I'm going to use a tray, metal catering tray from a car boot, so a couple of quid. You can use a washing up bowl, just get a couple of pounds, doesn't matter. What I don't want it to do is move around all the time when I'm actually cleaning. So what I do is wet down the surface a little bit and then stick a cloth on there. So again, when I wear out a shirt, or we've got towels that we want to get rid of, I use them. It just means that doesn't move about, but I use them a lot for shoe cleaning. So with these, you can see there's a lot of discoloration up here. Things you want to try and do is brush off any loose dirt you can first. So it's always useful to have just a decent stiff brush, and this just happens to be a Timberland brush, but it doesn't have to be. So you can get shoe cleaning kits. I think I've got them in my in the affiliate links, but you want to try and just quickly brush off any loose dirt. So if you've got any mud on there, what you don't want to do is ingrain the mud into the boots. So just by brushing off, you can see there's fluff in the air, and this will get off any loose dirt. Don't want to go crazy, but get off the loose dirt if you can. The main products I use for cleaning is this. It's Angelus Easy Cleaner, and you can see it's great for a whole range. So I use this. I have used Jason Markks, I have used Reshoevn8r. The reality is they all do a damn good job of cleaning shoes. So my recommendation is get whichever one's on the best offer at the time you're cleaning your shoes. Other things that I'm going to use, I'm going to get, where have I put it? Any old plastic tub. Don't go and use a new one, there's no point. And what I'll do, I will then mix some water and some easy cleaner in there to make up some suds. Other things that are useful whenever you get shoes, whenever you pick them up from the car boot sale, that day when you get home, you don't know how gross people's feet have been, so always give them a bit of Dettol to try and kill anything that's in there. Actually, no, that was just the air freshener. This is a proper one, all-in-one disinfectant spray. So I always wang it in there, give them a good blast, and that way it minimises any sort of foot smells and neutralises that by the time you're going to sell it. So now I need to start getting the cleaning done on these. So as I said, I've just reused an old bottle, squeezy bottle. This is just water. I'm just going to saturate the shoe so it's all damp. If you put it on dry, the problem you'll get is that you'll end up getting soapy bits and non-soapy bits, and it makes it more difficult. So I want to try and get just a rough, even coverage, and that will help it when I actually clean. So I'm just going to let that sit for a little minute or two while I prepare the rest. So basically doing it in this tray means that any skank and dirt and whatever falls into this, not all over my work surface, definitely not in my kitchen, because that is not nice. So I'm going to get my Angelus Easy Cleaner. I decant 1 or 2 capfuls. Whenever I get to about a third left, I'll go and order another one. I think that cost me about a tenner from Amazon. So I've got 2 capfuls in there. Whoops. That is just some fresh water I put in a squeezy bottle because I'm out in the garage. A couple of squeezes, that's it. And then just going to use a nail brush. Actually, I'm going to start off with the soft brush. You can get different types of brushes. Start with a softer brush if you need to, and you really need to get ingrained dirt out. You can go to a harder brush. So always start with the least aggressive brush. So all I'm doing, you can see I'm just building up some suds. Just stick that to the side, and that's it. Literally, I'm going to put my hand in the shoe now. Again, you can wear gloves. It's often nice to do this if you're wearing the surgical glove type stuff. And basically, give it a very gentle scrub all over. Including the soles. These are not too bad underneath. I'm not going to clean those right now, but as you can see, it's all soaking in, and what I don't want is if this was a dry shoe, it doesn't go in as evenly. And again, because this is on the slightly damp towel bit of cloth, it doesn't move and skid around. So these shouldn't be too much of a drama because they weren't that dirty. It was mainly the discoloration of the toe because they dried at different rates. I'm assuming someone got them wet in a puddle and then they dried at different rates, and that's why you got the massive colour difference, and they didn't know how to clean them to get them back. So this should be a fairly straightforward cleaning job. Another good thing is it's kind of it's recycling a lot, because you can see any family toothbrushes that end up getting all knackered and you buy yourself a new one, they all come out here for cleaning the soles of shoes or bits that are more difficult. So everything gets reused again. Plastic tubs you're often using again, and it saves stuff going straight to the dump. You can't recycle a toothbrush, but if you can use it for cleaning, it makes life easier. Right, I'll keep doing the rest of this, but I'm not going to carry on talking because you don't need to hear any of this, so I might speed this up in a moment. So these have now had a good once over all the way around. Any surface dirt's now really come off, and then if they need it, anywhere where you can see little spot marks, give it another scrub and get an old cloth, anything you like. You can see there's dirt coming off. So basically this is old, my son Archie, this is one of his old school shirts that's ruined, and now these are saturated. You can literally wipe off surface dirt. You're going to get some of the tanning from the leather coming off, but you can get an awful lot of the surface dirt. Just as I'm doing it, I'm turning it to get a fresh bit of his old shirt. And again, once you've got these, I've got plenty of his shirts and my daughter's shirts, and they go into a dirty pile at some point. They all go in the wash. Wouldn't wash these with the rest of my clothes, so I have a pile of the dirties from shoe cleaning. But to be honest, some of them have just go in the bin because they are so disgusting. You don't want to put it through your washing machine. So that is looking a much more even colour. Now, this isn't just necessarily it. What might happen is, once this is dried, I might see some further dirt spots. I mean, there's a little bit there. I'm going to give that a little bit more of a clean there. The majority of the dirt should be coming out, and you want the suds carry the dirt out. So once you've got a good lather, that's really try and wipe it out, turn it out. So that's not too bad now. That's been cleaned all the way around thoroughly. The colour is now the same all the way around, and because that dried differently, because it dried at a different time, because not all the boot was saturated, this is now saturated. It will dry evenly, but you really do need to make sure it dries, because if you don't, and you then put it away, it can get mouldy. So you must make sure they're 100% dry. Don't force dry them on your radiator or anything like that. Stuff them with newspaper, because otherwise you end up with them drying in funny shapes. So stuff it with old newspaper or something like that, so it's got the nice proper Ugg shape. Once that's dry, this will almost form like a crust, and it will be, that won't feel as soft as the original Ugg finish. What you then need to do is use the dry brush again. So once this is 100% dry, I'll have to do another day's video in for that. It's going to take a day or so for this to dry. We'll then use this. You can see all the fluff that's come off. So I'll clean that up. We'll go over it again to basically break up the surface and make it soft again. You can't always get it done with just the stiff brush. Sometimes you'll need to use a brass brush. Brass is a soft metal, and that will be more aggressive than the stiff brush, but it will break up the surface, and it's very, very fine, and it will give it a nice finish. Once you've done that, before you photograph them, the colours can look a bit weird because the nap or the fibres aren't all pointing in the same direction, and that is where this is called a Crepe brush. So basically you'll scrape it along and it aligns all the fibres so that you get a nice sort of finish, a nice even finish. So those are the tools that I'm going to be using, all relatively inexpensive. You can buy them as a pack. I think I got a pack of Crepe brush and the stiff brushes and stuff like that. I think it was a tenner for 3 brushes. So yeah, you do have to invest some money, but then if you're picking Ugg boots that are in a bad state at a car boot for £5 and you're flipping them for 40 plus, you just have to flip one and you've paid for all the equipment and the cleaning stuff. So get a couple of Ugg boots, invest some money and some time into getting it right. If you haven't got it right first time, you do it again and you keep doing it. Flog them on, make some money, and once you've done a couple, it's paid for itself, or one is paid for itself. After that, it's all profit. So right, we'll catch up in a bit once these are dry, and what I'll do, I'll only do one so you can compare and contrast the first and the second one. So we'll leave it at that for right here. Or now, just thinking that first pair may not be of dirty enough to really show it. There was just the colour, the separate colour of the toe where it got wet. Where this one, you can see there's ingrained dirt into this. So I'm going to go through and see all the nap is all pushed down where it's got damp and skanky. Top, this is all nice and soft, and you can see all the grain of the leather. So what I was talking about earlier with see how, depending on the direction, so basically once it's all ready to go, you can align all the nap with one of these Crepe brushes. But again, I'm going to do exactly the same with these. So stiff brush first, then the suds, wipe it all down. I'll keep that one as it is, I'll clean this one up, and then we can do the compare and contrast. But that's what we're trying to do. All that where the nap is all stuck down and you've got all this skank in it here, we'll get that looking pretty fresh again. So these were a £5. Should do well. I didn't see that little bit of damage there. The label has got caught. That's not ideal. Oh well. Anyway, I'll get these cleaned up and looking good. So yeah, all good. Right, we're at the next day. So these are the ones that haven't been cleaned with the discoloured front, and these are the ones that have been cleaned. So you can see the difference. Now, what we also mentioned was that when they've been cleaned, the skin tightens up, and so this is the one that hasn't been cleaned. You can see it's all nice and soft suede still, but that's the discoloured one. Now this is the one that has been cleaned, and it hasn't, all the nap is gone hard. It's like made a harder skin. So what we now need to do is break that down. Now the way we're going to do that, to make it all soft again, start off with a stiff brush, and if necessary we go a little bit more aggressive with the brass bristles. So first of all, I can pull out all the newspaper that I had inside to help shape it, get my hand inside, and literally we're going to brush everything, and you can see the fluff coming off. So we're just going to give it a stiff brush, and this won't work with a standard brush. You do need to get a stiff shoe brush. These are Timberland based because it was Timberland based. This was I bought a Timberland set because they have Nubuck boots. Their traditional boots are Nubuck, and it's the same sort of thing for those. You want to go with the dry brush first. So it's the same brush you use for getting the dust off, and you can see all the fluff is starting to gather. So basically you want to break down that surface. So it's all going one way first, all towards the front of the boot. And you can see it's all starting to roll up there. And that's basically that thicker skin broken down that we've created with the cleaning. And it all comes off. So once you can then defluff it, just use your hand. But you don't just want to do it one way. You want to go one way, and then after you've done that, we're going to go the other way. And we'll do this all over the boot. I'm not going to show you it all, but you get the idea. So now going back towards, you can see all the nap breaking down now, and that's what we want. You can see now that you can change the direction. So I'm going to do this for a little while, just a few minutes. It doesn't take long to do the entire boot. From the front to the back, from the back to the front. Then we're going to go from left to right, and then we're going to go back the other way, right to left. And you can see now that as you move it, you're getting different. Essentially the nap, the hairs, the fibres will lay one way then the other. So I'll just do this for a couple minutes. I've just taken a few moments to do that, but I'm going to do the rest of the boot now. So as you can see, there's a lot of fluff is coming off. So you don't want to go too aggressive, but you need to break up that top surface. So if you go too aggressive, if you've got a weak spot, you've got to go through. So just be sensible about it. Get this fluff off my hand. So that has had a very thorough clean now. So we've given it the dry brush initially, then we've cleaned it with Angelus Easy Cleaner. Links are in the description. And again, I use that for trainers as well. Now we've given it we've given it a day or so to dry. Then I've given it a clean with a stiff brush, and then a quick once over with the brass bristles. I'm just dusting it off. So now let's get that folded down neatly. And give that a proper before and after. Hold on. I don't even know if that's going to be folded down. Maybe it's not. Maybe that goes up like that. Okay. Before, after. So you've got the discoloration, you've got water spotting. So the water spotting is obviously from whatever's been spilt on it. That has dried at a different rate to this because one part of the shoe got wet more than the other and dried at different rates. Now we've then saturated and then cleaned all the surface dirt off. So reshaped it and let it dry with newspaper in it, or you can stuff it with old t-shirts or whatever you've got. I use old newspaper or old packing paper. So if I get a package from Amazon, keep all the bits for package, but I use packaging. But as you can see, that's quite a difference. Get up close. Filth. Fluff. And again, whilst you look there and that looks like looks a bit of dirt there, it's not, it's just a nap. Again, before I take my photos of these, I'll rub it all down so that the naps all go in the same direction, because if someone's going one way and not the other, that looks like obviously a stain in the photo. So either all wants to be forward or all wants to be back, but you don't want half and half. So those little bits of attention to detail make the difference. So this sort of thing you can pick up at a car boot sale, £5-7, depending on the model. I might even pay 10, and depending on the dirt and the damage. When it's just watermarks, you can get them out like this. Sometimes you're going to get ones with much more ingrained dirt. I've got the other pair to show you, but it's incredible what you can do with a bit of hard work. So I reckon depending on the severity of the dirt, it can take anywhere from 15 to 20-ish minutes per pair of Uggs. But I can't do it all in one go. I'll clean for an hour one day, and I'll clean as many shoes as I can within the hour, for example, put them aside. When they're all dried, a couple of days later I'll come back and then I'll do all the dry brushing and bring them back up to scratch. So over a couple of days I'll do it in batch work, and you can get a damn good result. And that turns a £5 pickup into, instead you try and sell those on eBay in that sort of state, maybe 20 quid if you're lucky, 25 maybe. That is closer to your 40 to 50 pounds, possibly more. Depends on the condition of the sole. These are not worn out. Depends on this I'm going to use the fabric shaver on, so I use that for the debobbler, so I'll use that on here. But these should now go for 45, 50 maybe. Depends on how quick I need to move them. I've got a shed load of boots at the minute, so I'll probably knock them out a little bit cheaper, but it's a good one. These are what, 150 new. The stubbies are what, 120, 140 new. These are about 150, 160. So people are going to pay up, and these look new. Hopefully 50 £55, maybe a little more. We'll see. I'm making it up now. I can't even remember. I haven't looked at comps for a little while, but yeah, hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you can do. From tat to treasure. Not bad, eh? So here's that other pair that were pretty dirty, and you've got, so these are the uncleaned ones, so you've got quite a lot of ingrained dirt, but you see how nice and soft it is. These are the ones that have been cleaned and now need the stiff brush. Now, still may need some work, so after the stiff brush, if that hasn't come out, they're going to need another clean. But you can see there's no softness to this at all, and that's why people try and clean their Uggs, and it comes out like this, and they're gutted. So even if you see Uggs like this, which are all tight around the top, on the skin, it's because they've been cleaned and haven't been dry brushed again. So that is what the next step is. And again, that's where these two brushes will come in handy. Right, I'll get cracking, I'll show you again in a minute. So you can still see this fluff coming off. So that's why you can't go too aggressive, but you do need to break down that hardened layer. Look at the state of my arm, it's getting covered in this. Look at that. That's why, again, you don't want to be doing this in your kitchen. I'm out in my workshop, get the fluff off, and I don't know if you can see there's a lot of the fluff in the air. So to be honest, the mask is probably a good idea. But I don't mind doing this. So yeah, it's a little bit of dirty work. It takes a little bit of elbow grease, but you just come out here, pop the music on, bang the tunes out for an hour, do a bit of cleaning, and you turn £5 into 50 plus. So yeah, it makes me happy when people don't know how to look after their £160 boots, because I will renovate them and I will make the money. And now you can too. Or if you just own Uggs and you want to make them look nice again, you can do that. The other one to this pair, that's what it's, whoop, good state of that. It's like night and day. Still a little bit of a flat spot here. Again, that's what this is for. So it strokes down, strokes back up again, strokes this way, strokes that way. It just breaks down and gets any of that fluff, anything grained out of there. You do circles, don't go crazy. Yeah, need a little bit of work on that bit, but that is not bad for the time put into it. So I think that might be it for my Uggs video. So yeah, you can see, compare and contrast, that's a cracking result for using the right tools and a bit of time. Okay, right, hopefully that's been helpful. Speak to you next time.